Brought to you by Kenworth TA80 Studios. Kletus Roadside Service. Coming at you out of Tulsa. We're cruising around. We got there. We dumped the guys there dumped the box. Everything went real well. We're on our way back home. They said, yeah, I ain't got to be there till 2 o'clock. Who am I to leave that on the table, So I got there at 1, so I got there a little earlier. But normally I get out to Tulsa around like 10:30. So it's much later than, you know, other times that I'm out here in Tulsa. But not bad, it's still all right. Did not expect to sit out here for 2.5 hours waiting for because they wanted to do the unloading. So I dropped the box and they got it taken care of, and I guess things are okay, but I'll be running short on my hours, I'll tell you that right now. They're saying it's not going to be till damn near 8 o'clock before I get home. And I am going to have to stop and get some fuel somewhere. I think I might be able to, I don't know where I'm going to make it to, but I'll make it a little further than this. This little black car, listen, I don't want to be in the exit lane, so you're going to have to, if you want to pass me, you're going to have to go to the left. Anyways, yesterday I had a bunch of time left over because it was not a long day. So before I left the shop, I said, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull my truck in the shop because I had gone in there to put the keys away to the truck, and I noticed that there was the big middle bay was completely empty. Usually they got trucks shoved in there, half torn apart and whatnot. So I said, you know what? I'm going to use that to my advantage. I'm going to pull my pickup truck in there, and I'm going to try to time this motherfucker. And I got some other things I want to do to it, to make it a little bit better. Well, not a whole lot, but a little bit. So I pull it in there, and I start, I get my timing light all hooked up and everything, and I start messing with it. I loosen up the distributor, and I'm looking for the timing marks. So we have a tire machine there. That means we got tire chalk. So grab some tire chalk, and it's yellow, so it's easy to see. I couldn't see the groove on my flywheel. I didn't know where the fuck it was at or anything. So the timing marks on the timing chain cover were, it was nowhere near that. So I put a little yellow mark on it, and I put another couple of marks to the sides of it, about an inch away from the main mark, just so I could see if I'm getting close or not. And fired the truck up, and it was about 4 inches off, which was kind of shocking. I was like, wow, why is it so out of time? Maybe that makes sense why it's not running good. So I turned the distributor, and I don't know which clockwise and counterclockwise, whenever you're turning the distributor, I don't know which one is advance and which one, the other one's retard. But I believe I retarded it so much that the number one spark plug wire, it's supposed to be pointing towards, whenever you time it, that's just a good rule of thumb. I think that's the way you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to make that point of the distributor point towards number one. And I didn't have it pointing towards number one no more, that's for sure. It was pointing, straight forward, basically. So I was a little skeptical of that, but the truck, it started running a lot better, and I got it up to operating temperature. I looked up some forums, and they were like, "Oh, you gotta peel the carpet back, unplug a wire, check the engine light, plug it back in, do a whole bunch of bullshit. And I was like, nah, I think I can tune it. I can just turn the fucking distributor and make it work. Well, it seemed to be running good, but I did rev it up a couple of times, and it seemed to fucking be a little bit poppy, a little bit of backfiery, more than normal. So I tightened it down, but I got the timing mark really close to where I think it needed to be. And I hopped in it, and I was like, well, this is the test. I'm going to take it out on the road and try it out. And it definitely felt sluggish for a little bit, in the low RPMs, it was sluggish. And then once you get up in the higher RPMs, it's got something called a vacuum advance. So it's something controlled by vacuum. The more vacuum you pull, the more it turns and changes your firing order, not firing order, but firing sequence, or a little bit more to help it keep up. So I'm guessing it runs really good whenever it's, I guess, in the high RPMs for the vacuum advance. So I guess I need to advance it just a little bit more. But I think that's going to put it right back to where the fuck I had it. So I did that. I got it running all right. And then I was like, well, I guess I still got some extra time. My spare tire is on my truck right now. It's been on there for a while because I had a tire keep going flat. And then I realized it was the valve stem was bad. It was cracked or whatever. Because when I put these tires on the truck, they're used tires from a guy that used to work here. And they still had like 25% tread left on them. And they were a little bit bigger than my tires I had. So I was like, yeah, I'll fucking take those. So I got 3 of those. I put 2 on the rear tires, 1 on my spare, and then I had 2 other tires that came off my square body because I got new tires for my square, not new. I got different tires for my square body. They're a little fucked up. But got them. Anyways, so I had the front tires matching and the rear tires matching. They're all the same size. Front ones are way skinnier, though. And, yeah, so I had my original rim in the bed of the truck with a broken valve stem. So I went over to the tire machine, popped that bitch open, put a new valve stem in it. Everything went really smooth with that. Aired it up. 60 psi is what I'm running in my tires. It says they can hold 80 psi cold, and I think it runs down the road way better because I had them aired up when I first got it and first aired them up. I did like 40 psi in all the tires, and it was just so fucking loud going down the road. It was just wah 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 wah. And then I was like, let me just throw more in there. Let me try 60 psi. And 60 psi was like, that's perfect. But that was like summer weather, But it was way less road noise. A lot less rolling resistance and whatnot. And seemed all right. So anyways, I have another tire. My other rear tire, it was also a little bit low. It was down to 30. So, and you can't really tell. I guess you can kind of tell, but you're not really going to be able to tell too much, even though it was half the amount of PSI that's supposed to be in there. Aired that one up. It's a very slow leak, so I'm not worried about it. It's been several months since I put air in my tires, so it's got to be a really fucking slow leak. I don't give a shit about that. I'll just throw, it takes 5 seconds to throw a little air in the damn thing. And there's air compressors are everywhere, by the way. Being a trucker, you realize that every fuel island has air to it. And it's way faster. Like, there's a place called Quick Trip around Kansas City and other surrounding areas. But they always have free air. And Casey's also has, well, they used to have free air until they redesigned their shit. Now you got to pay for it or whatever. But Quick Trip's always had free air, and their air compressors are so much bullshit. They're so fucking slow, and they turn off, and they just don't work. Being a trucker, you realize, yeah, you got air at every fucking fuel island. I start, and I've given that secret out to a couple of people, where I see somebody, they're like airing up all four of their tires, and they're like completely flat or whatever, and they're sitting there for a long ass time. I'm like, hey, just so you know, that truck island is completely empty. There's no trucks in it. You see, they have hose reels at every single fucking deal. You can go over there, and that's way better pressure than anything coming out of this fucking thing. So, if you want to air up your tires a lot faster and a lot easier than fucking dealing with that fucking curly Q bullshit fucking wire, stretching it across your fucking windshield and shit, you can go over there and use the truck air, and it'll air them way faster. So, anyways, that's my little segment on that. I got in the truck and I started driving home, and yeah, I was just feeling so sluggish. And then I got onto a highway, I guess. The speed limit's 55, and I couldn't get over 30. It was uphill, but I couldn't get this fucking thing over 30. And I was like, this is not good. And it's backfiring like crazy. Every time you let off the throttle, it's just blah, 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 pop, 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 pop. I was like, damn, dude. So, and I cleaned out my air filter. I need to get a new air filter. I bought a new air filter. It turns out it's the wrong size, and I just haven't been up there to return it and swap it out or whatever. But it's too small, so it won't fit in my air cleaner. So I've just been running the old one, and I blew that fucking thing out. There's so much fucking dust in it. I was like, all right, I should get a new air filter for this thing. That's the original air filter I bought the truck with back 6 years ago. So, I mean, I probably do need a new air filter, but you can still see daylight through it. So I don't know, like it doesn't have to be, clean. You just got to be able to, breathe, And after I blew it out, I'd say it's like brand new now. It's all good. So, but I thought maybe that was the problem. So I took the air filter out and just put the housing back on. I was like, I'll run it with no air filter on my way home. It was cold as tits outside. So, I don't know. I thought maybe that had something to do with it. Not running right. It's getting way more air than it's used to. So put the air filter back in. Drove it. It was still, acting exactly the same. So I was like, well, fuck me. Pulled over again, pulled out my tool set, loosened up the distributor, turned the truck on, and twisted it just a little bit, and it's still not good. And I probably should have pulled over again, but I was like, I'm just ready to get the fuck home. It was like 7:00. I got off at 4. So I was like, I'm just ready to go the fuck home. It's running good enough. I just tried to not let off the throttle. Try to always keep a little bit of throttle on there to keep it from fucking backfiring like crazy. But it's so much louder too. So anyways, I think I'm either, I don't know. I can't really smell the exhaust, so I can't really tell if it's running rich or if it's running lean. My guess would be I'm running it lean as fuck. So I need to, today, whenever I get back to the shop at fucking 8:00 tonight, I will be popping the hood and doing a little bit more tuning. But that brings me to the other problem where I'm pretty sure, I don't know, my harmonic balancer is where the timing mark is. That's what you shine the light on to see where the mark is. And the mark was way the fuck out. I don't know. I guess I'll just put it more towards the middle, but it idles a lot higher whenever I have it in that position. So I don't know. Really just need somebody that's super good with distributors and fucking shit to look at it, but I don't know. I'm not. All I can do is just turn the bitch a little bit at a time and then say, I think it's better now, you know? But, anyways, got the tires are aired up. Got my spare ready to go. I got my air filter cleaned out. And, yeah, just going to take, I guess, a little bit of time twisting and turning that fucking thing. But I am thinking about, it's going to be a little bit of money. But I'm thinking I'm going to need to go put exhaust on this fucking thing. I've been thinking about that quite a bit because right now it's got a catalytic converter and then it's rusted off after that, and it just sounds loud and it sounds. I mean, nobody's gonna believe me, but unless you heard it in real life, it sounds like a damn V8, even though it's a V6. It sounds fucking mean. Not right now. It sounds like a real piece of shit right now. But whenever it was running properly, it sounded good. I mean, it just didn't have no fucking. It's a V6. It ain't gonna have much power, but it sounded good, and that's what I really care about. It's just it sounding good. But right now it sounds real bad. So, anyways, I'm thinking about putting exhaust on it. That's gonna be some money. That's gonna be some real money. Not real money, but a decent chunk of money that I don't have to spend on something that honestly doesn't bother me that much, but I feel like it bothers everybody else around me, especially my neighbors. When I got them early mornings, like I'm gonna have tomorrow morning, I'll go out there, rah, 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 rah. And it, whenever it's cold idling, it's loud as fuck. And then I never let it warm up until it. I let it warm up for I don't know a minute or two, and then I take off. But it doesn't start doing its low idle until I don't know. It doesn't do it because I take off with it and I start running it up and down the highway, and it heats up pretty quick. But anyways, I don't know. Last night I was just tired of dealing with it. Really, is what I am. But I don't know. I think it would be interesting, and I would 100% do this, but I don't want to have to do it. But if the V6 turns out maybe there is something a little bit wrong with it, where it's not going to run right, or it just keeps running worse and worse and worse with every little thing that I do to the damn thing, I don't want to, but I've been thinking about it quite a bit lately, is taking that old 350 out of my fucking square body, because it runs real good. Just right now, it doesn't have a fuel system hooked up to it, and it's not, the whole truck isn't wired up at all. But I could take that old fucking good wrench 350 out of that motherfucker, and it'll almost damn near directly swap into my fucking Silverado. I'll keep the carb on it and everything, because the carb, it's not bad. It'll sit there and idle. It's there's as long as I don't fuck with anything, I just take it off and stick it on. It'll be good. Yeah, I did have a timing issue with that truck a while back, but I got that figured out. Now it's good. It fires up and it runs, and that would be pretty fucking sweet. I mean, I've always had my eye out for another 350 somewhere, so I could just go ahead and do the swap. But people want money for them things. People want money for them. Every single time I bring it up to somebody, they're like, "Why don't you LS swap it?" I'm like, "I'm not doing that. I'm not an LS boy. There's LS boys. I like an LS. An LS is pretty cool. I'm not an LS boy though. I'm not a wiring genius. I'm not trying to fucking figure that shit out. I know that a carbureted 350 can go in and do everything I want it to do. I know that. I like carburetors, okay? Good thing this one's in good tune, because I don't think I'm good at tuning them. I just like them, you know. What if I had this? Only my other square body was the only other car I had that was carbureted, and it ran. It ran like a. It ran. It ran. It ran. It did. It drove. Now, nothing I've ever had has ran real good, but that's okay. You know, I'd be all right. Mm-mm-mm. I didn't stop for lunch before I got out here. I still haven't eaten today yet. Well, let me not say that. That's a complete fucking lie right there. I haven't stopped and eaten lunch today yet. I brought a little tuna pack with me, and I ate that. And before that, I did stop off at a Casey's and grab me some bacon pizza. So I'm not like starving or nothing over here. That's for sure. But I am a little bit hungry. I would like to get some food at some point in time. I think I know the exact right spot to get that food. It's going to be here at the end of my run on I-44 once I get up there into the other guy I was working with. He was telling me I was fucking crazy. It's Missouri though. You take I-44 into Missouri, you take that first exit, and then you head north from there, and then it takes you into Kansas. It jogs over into Kansas, and then you're in Kansas. But we're right at the tri-state connection or whatever, you know. There's two of them. I think I'm at the lower one. I know I'm at the lower one. I'm coming right in at the top of Tulsa. Now, people have still been freaking out about this snowstorm coming through. That's going to be exciting. I hope people are prepared for it. Am I? Nah, not really, but I think I can handle it. I've been through them before. A lot of people don't believe that Kansas City gets weather. The last few years, 10 years, I don't know what it was, but you know, the last few years for sure, yeah, it's been pretty light winters. Uh, but I promise you, if we go back and look at how cold it gets in Kansas City in the wintertime, it gets below freezing. Oh, it's below freezing all the fucking time. It gets below zero with negative wind chills quite often. We've gotten feet of snow before, over a foot. We usually used to have snow, like good snowstorms too. I don't know what the hell's been going on lately, but I've dealt with snow. I've dealt with ice. We've had ice storms. We've had all that shit. The people that I would be worried about is like people down here in Oklahoma. They're like, we don't know what the fuck to do when it gets cold out. Texas, Arkansas, they can deal with it. I mean, they do have a lot of hills and shit up there in northern Arkansas. So you guys are running off the fucking road anyways. A little bit of ice ain't going to change the amount of people sliding off the mountain, you know. But, yeah, I don't know. I feel like the people in Kansas City, we can all deal with it. We can deal with it. Everybody's going to get stuck. Everybody's going to be like, oh, I think I can take my fucking Prius out and I can get around and whatnot. And then they're not going to be able to. A lot of it has to do with tires. People ain't got good tires on their vehicles or whatnot. But if you got just a stock pickup truck with a little bit of all-terrains or mud tires, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. We used to, me and my crew, I don't want to say crew. Me and the people I used to hang out with, the rednecks, we were always driving around. We would pull out cops, ambulances, just other cars stuck in. We would just, that was fun for us. And I think any man would really just enjoy doing that. You feel like a hero. You feel cool as shit when you pull somebody out of a stuck spot. It's just cool as hell to do. Some people would accept money. A lot of us would just say, no, you keep it. You hold on to it. We're gonna drive around and look for somebody else stuck. We're out here doing this for fun. I don't know, but it was always a good time. And actually, this truck that I got here, even on the, I would call them street tires. They're just regular tires. When I first got the truck and I got it running or whatever, there was a decent snowstorm. It only lasted a couple of days, or like the snow really only impacted side streets and shit. Well, no, the highway shut down, so everybody was out on side streets, and side streets were way worse than the highways. And that truck got around so damn good. That was back when the 4x4 actuator actually actuated. The actuator actually actuated. Now the 4x4 actuator doesn't do shit. It's just basically like a big cylinder magnet thing that whenever I put it into four-wheel drive, it sends a signal to shove this plunger over to engage the four-wheel drive and then the lever on the floor that sends a signal, and it puts the transfer case into four-wheel drive. So there's been a mod out there that people have done, and I've done it. It's been on my truck since last winter, where you grab a socket. I think it's like a 13/16 socket or some shit. Deep well socket. I think deep well. Might have been a short one. I think it might have been a short socket. But you just pull the actuator out. The socket is damn near the same size as the actuator. You shove the socket in there, then you screw the actuator back in there. And now the front axle is constantly connected, but the transfer case is disconnected. So and the front is it's an open differential, kind of. It's a slight limited slip. It doesn't work as well as I wish it would, but anyways, I think I'll get a little bit less fuel mileage out of it having it like that, but I really don't notice any difference, really. I guess unless I turn, whenever I'm turning, but it doesn't really affect anything since it's essentially an open differential. One tire is connected to the drive shaft. The drive shaft is connected to nothing inside the transfer case, and the other wheel is just over there, just hanging out. So anyways, I'm ready. So now, it used to be a kind of a problem to get your truck out of four-wheel drive. You used to have to kind of put it in reverse, back up a little bit until the actuator would pop out, and then you were good to go. But now I just put it in four-wheel drive. I just pull it back into four-wheel drive. The transfer case is in four-wheel drive. That's sending, power to the front wheels, and then I can just bop it up and back into two-wheel drive, and it's good to go. Four low is always fun. Now, four low with a manual transmission is where it's at, because four low in a lot of auto trucks, you put it into four low, and it will only let you it reduces the gear, so it's a even higher gear ratio or whatever. That guy was flashing his headlights at me. What are you flashing at me for? Is there a cop right there? Is there a cop somewhere? I don't know what's going on. Anyways, I got all 5 gears. The transfer case is into a 4 low, so I get way more torque and everything. But then I can shift it into fucking third gear. Because that was one problem. I had an automatic Chevy truck, put it in 4 low, and it would just, you would rev it to the moon basically. You could get it to the limiter, but it would never shift. Um, so it's cool. Like you're in a tight spot, you need a little bit more gearing. You can get up out of that spot, but maybe you need to keep going, or you need to get a little bit of speed for something. You ain't gonna be speeding up. But me in 5 speed, fucking second gear, third gear, fourth gear, I don't know what my top speed would be in 4 low in fifth gear. I don't know. Probably maybe 55. I don't know. But all I know is everything works the way I want it to work right now, so that's good. Except for the engine. That is a big problem. But I got a good heater in the bitch. Got coolant, got oil. It doesn't leak. Well, I did notice a little bit of a wet spot. So maybe I do have a slight leak, but it's not noticeable. And it doesn't leave my old my old Chevy Cruze made a big ass spot in my driveway, a big oil stain. Um and now I park my Chevy over that same spot. So it gets me every now and again. I'm like, oh shit, am I leaking? I'm like, nope, that's just the same old fucking oil spot. And I've taken a heated pressure washer to it. I don't know. I put Dawn dish soap all over it, scrubbed it around with my broom, and then I had a heated Landa pressure washer. I took a Landa home one day and blasted that bitch, and it's not coming up. It's not coming off. So I don't know. There's got to be a way to do it, but I don't know it. I feel like baking soda or something. Somebody said put vinegar and baking soda on it. That might create mustard gas. I'm not sure. I don't want to find out. At least I'd be outside. But option number 2 is get the square body wired up, legalized, and just start driving that bitch. And start finding all the problems with that motherfucker. I'm pretty sure before I take it out and start dailying, well, I would never daily it, but before I take it out on any major drives, even a half hour or whatever, I think I need to rebuild or put new bearings up in the front axle, because it's pretty fucking loose as a goose up there. But I did see some stuff on DexJ, he's a Jeep guy, and he was rebuilding the front axle for a Jeep, and he was saying that I don't know why people don't use these, and it's a CV joint. Instead of using an axle with a fucking U-joint on it in your front axle, you could use a CV axle, and it's got a rubber boot on it, and you just grease the fucking thing, and it's like these work just as good, and they're way easier to, they're cheaper and easier to deal with, or something like that. Easier than changing a fucking U-joint on the front axle. So I don't know. Might look into that, but I don't know. It also sounds like a lot of work. But that truck, I think, because it used to be on a farm, so nobody gives a shit about it on a farm, just driving around, and, you could clearly tell that by the wiring job that was in that truck when I got it. They're like, yeah, that's how I started the truck when I first got it, because I got it. The guy fired it up for me and drove it around before I bought it. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. It runs, it drives. He's like, it ain't got no brakes. So I took it home and I put brakes on it. And then I tried to fire it up, and I was like, how? I had to call him up. I'm like, hey, how did you fire this fucking thing up? He's like, oh, there's a brown wire sticking through the dash. You just got to ground that out or whatever. I don't remember exactly what he said, but you just got to touch those wires together, and it'll fire up. He's like, you got to turn the key and then touch those wires. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? So that was my first, you know, first thing I noticed that I was like, this wiring is fucked. And then there was all kinds of other wiring going under the dash. Fuck, it was bad. And then a bunch of wiring up in the under the hood. I ripped all the carpet out because the carpet was all falling apart anyways. Can I have my lane? What are you in my lane for, bud? Damn, dude. Um, yeah. So I don't know. I feel pretty good about doing that. Part of me wishes maybe I would have just kind of left it because it ran. It would fire up, run, and drive, and the fuel system worked on it, but it was just too sketch for me. I was like, I just gotta start with a clean slate. So here I am with a clean slate. Still got a fucking harness I gotta hook up and figure out. I have no drive to do it really, which is sad. Back in the day, I used to work on a lot of shit all the time. I had that 78 square body. I worked on that all the time. I had the S10. I worked on that. I had the Ranger. I had to work on that. Me and my dad put a Thunderbird together. We worked on that. I grew up on dirt bikes that were junk that I had to go around, sift through boxes of parts and put them together. And my 96 Chevy, I didn't really have to do too much to that truck. I would tune it up every now and again, and it ran good. There was one wiring issue I had with that where the main power to the under hood fuse box got corroded. It was making the truck do some weird fucking shit, and everybody was stumped. And then one day I was like, well, that's corroded. Maybe let's just pull that off and clean it up. And it fixed it, and it ran great. My GMC, I didn't do anything to the engine. I put a cold air intake on it after I flooded the bitch. I put a new intake on it. Not intake, just a air filter housing or whatever. And then I replaced a bunch of sensors in it because I flooded the bitch, and a lot of sensors were failing. And then I was geared up and ready to go to change out the transfer case, but then I was waiting for that transfer case to fail. I was like, well, it makes noise, but I'll just let it fail before I replace it. And it never fucking failed. It just kept on going. So I had the transfer case. I just was like, well, I'll just leave it alone. So my roadside service podcast here isn't completely untrue. I know I've worked on a lot of shit. I've helped people put lift kits on. I could do my own brakes. I know things. I know how to. It is fun. Lately I just haven't had a drive for it. But I really do enjoy watching people do that shit, and that's why I like Vice Grip Garage, Pole Barn Garage. There's a bunch of other pages and shit that I follow on Facebook and stuff where they're just fixing up old shit. It's like junk in a field, and they just, cobble it together and drive it 600 miles home or whatever. And I just love that. It's so much fun. I'm like, hey, well, one of you guys just come to my house and fix my shit, and then just don't drive it away. You know, come over here, fix it, and then just I'll drive 600 miles on it. But I don't know. I think that's a good model for a YouTube channel because for me at least, I'm subscribed to a lot of fucking fix up junkers channels. I love them. And there's a guy I followed for a long time on YouTube, Street Speed 717, because he had bought a Duramax. He had a Silverado. It was the extended cab, super short bed, which is kind of a rare combination. And that thing was cool as hell. And then he bought a Corvette, and then he bought this Duramax. And then he did this Duramax build series out of his apartment garage. And then his channel blew up. And now he's like, I don't know, there for a long time. He was just messing with McLarens and Lamborghinis. And he still does that, but and now he builds up all kinds of shit. But every time he's got right now he's actually, I think he's got 4 OBS Chevy trucks that are in like immaculate condition. He's fixing them up, making them better, and I think he's getting them ready for a giveaway or something. I don't know, but he had one that was a regular cab, long bed, lifted, bright red, had some pinstriping on it. That thing is nice. He got another one that's just extended cab 4-wheel drive. Another one that's a short bed, regular cab, I believe. And then he got another extended cab step side. And I don't know. I like watching those. But whenever he grabs a brand new Ford Raptor or whatever, and he's like, I'm gonna supercharge it or whatever the fuck he does. I'm like, I'm not interested in Lotuses and McLarens and Lamborghinis and shit like that. He had another one. It was a Blazer. I think he still has it, but it was a K, or not K5. It was just a K1500 Blazer. He bought it for like super cheap, cleaned it up a little bit, and then took it off-roading, fucked it up, cut the roof off of it, beat the shit out of it, and then cut the entire body off and put a full exoskeleton cage on it. And I was like, hell yeah. And I remember him talking about it. He was like, this is like the cheapest content that I do, and it gets way more views than like anything else. I'm like, yes, leave the fucking Lamborghinis alone, dude. You know, just mess with the old shit. You know, people want to be able to relate a little bit to what you're messing with. And I don't see a whole lot of Lamborghinis running around, but I see a whole lot of old shitty Chevys driving down the road. And I give them a little wave, a little nod when I pass them. I'm like, nice Chevy, glad to see it out on the road still. Now the GMT 800s, which are the 2001 and up. Well, I guess some of them are 99. There is a classic OBS that went. I think they were in 99 and even some in 2000. But the GMT 800 platform that went from 2000 or 99 up until like 2007. Those are getting to be old ass trucks now. Those are some old motherfucking trucks. And even the generation after that I'm not familiar with at all, because they started added in that active fuel management bullshit where it would turn off cylinders and everything. 2008 and up, Chevy trucks, I'm just not interested in any of those at all, unfortunately. Then they got the weird looking Chevys, you know, and they're just all kinds of weird now. The GMC really kind of kept it realistic looking. The Chevy ones, they went all futuristic and everything. But no, I'm not interested in anything really after 2007. But even the GMT 800s, I'm not. I had one. I built it the way I wanted to build it. I spent a decent amount of money on it. I lost my ass on it, but I didn't put a lift kit on it, but I did put a leveling kit on it, which lifted it up a little bit. I put 33s with some 20-inch rims and bright white truck, tinted windows, color matched, well, not color matched bumpers and black grill, and redid some badging and took the trim off, and it was ugly on the inside. Well, it wasn't ugly, it was just tan, but I was never a fan of the tan interior, but it had leather interior with the full center console, and did a little bit of work to that, and I kept that thing fucking clean and nice, but every time I would wax and wash that truck, because I loved it so. I was like, this thing is so clean, and then rust bubbles started popping up, and I was like, well, I don't even want. Like, I lost interest. It's a nice ass. You can't have a nice ass truck with a little bit of rust, and I was not willing to fucking pay for the fixing all that bullshit. So, I mean, you can get a new bed and you can get new fenders, but the rockers, you got to cut that shit out. And I guess they do make plastic replacements. You can just panel bond them in there, and but it was honestly, it was way too nice of a truck for my personality. I want to be able to beat it up a little bit, and like, I want to be able to beat it up a little bit. That's why my 92, I had dreams of fixing it up super nice and completely factory. Those dreams have gone. Now I'm just so happy I have this rust bucket junker truck that, I don't know. I like it. It's not. I wouldn't say it's patina. It's just ugly. It's got massive rust holes throughout the truck. It's got power windows though. I mean, shit, my square body's got power windows. That's something I'm not used to. My 2006 GMC Sierra was the first truck I had that had power windows. And every truck I got after that had power windows too. Oh, man. It is kind of funny to see a square body with power windows. I do like the crank. I almost thought about it. I really almost thought about it. I was like, I kind of want to make the driver door a crank window, because some semis are like that. The driver door is a crank window, and then the passenger window, you got to have that be a power window. And I thought, since I have both doors are powered and they work, I thought about doing that. Replacing the internals on the driver door with crank shit, and then modifying the door panel and everything or whatever. But no, I think I'm just gonna keep them both power. And I put the switches in the middle of the dash, which is really odd for a square body, because I'm doing it completely custom. Yeah, I had it all wired up. Everything worked for a little bit, and then my hack job wiring didn't turn out too good. So I gotta fix all that up. But the buttons in the dash are gonna stay there. The two aftermarket window switches, or just up and down switches from eBay, or not eBay, Amazon. And I got a bunch of other little LED buttons that I'm gonna do one for the headlights, one for the marker lights. That used to be a rod that you pulled out of the dash. You pull it out once, that's marker lights. You pull it out again, that's headlights, and then you twist it, and that's your dimmer for your dash and everything. I don't need a dimmer for my dash, I don't think. So I'm just having them powered on. The dash is gonna light up no matter what. If it's running, the dash is gonna be lit up, and I'm okay with that. Um, but yeah, I'll need a button for headlights, button for marker lights. Uh, I've been thinking about it a lot more, and yeah, my dream is to get a different steering column out of a 90s Chevy or whatever that's got tilt, and it's got the windshield wipers, the brights on the stalk, on the column. Um, because I don't know what kind of fucking switch I'm going to need. I've looked up so many wiper switches, and the closest thing to what I really think I would like would be out of a like a 94 Peterbilt or some shit. That's the closest window or wiper switch I can think of. I have the original one to the square body, but I don't like that. It's a little slider, and then you push it in, and that squirts on your windshield or whatever. I think I can do with a new steering column that's got tilt and the blinker switch, the blinker stalk controls all that other shit. I think that's going to be my move for all that shit. But until then, I might just not have wipers, which is fine. Or maybe I can wire it up to buttons. I don't know how to wire it up to buttons. Just a one-speed wiper, just on and off. But that might require me getting a resistor or something, or else it'll be like full-speed wipers all the time. Not exactly sure. The horn will be in the steering wheel. Blinkers, headlights. I got a Bluetooth radio. It's a super cheap ass radio. The more I think about it, the more I'm thinking I might actually put like a fancy Android Auto radio in there or something, just to throw everybody off. On a completely custom dash, by the way. The dash pad is going to stay the same, but the faceplate where all the gauges and shit go, that's already been created with diamond plate. It's pretty shitty. I'm going to say it. It's pretty fucking shitty. There's a lot of messed up parts of it. So I'm going to redo it on some other flat aluminum, because right now it's on diamond plate. And the diamond plate is just a pain in the ass, because, nothing is sitting flush like I want it to sit and everything. And then I thought about it for a little bit, and I was like, well, if the sun is coming up anywhere behind where the dash is, the sun is going to blind me off of all these shiny diamonds on the diamond plate, So I was like, I should probably do something different for the dash, instead of having something that's going to blind me and I can't get away from it, So I'm going to do it in bare aluminum. I'm not going to polish it or anything, obviously. I think I'm just going to make it just a straight up aluminum panel or whatever. And then I got a bunch more of those aluminum sheets. I don't know. It's kind of scary to try new things, but I would love to be able to rebuild door panels out of them too. Have the door panels match the faceplate of the dash. That would be fucking cool. But I would need to integrate some sort of armrest in there. I got my speakers mounted in the original door panels right now. I had to cut the door out a little bit. Not a big deal, but they're in there. And like I said, the window switches are moved to the middle. I don't know what other switches I would need other than maybe like a cargo light or other interior lighting. I'll have an interior light button that I can hit. I can light up the whole interior. I thought about getting like some string lights or whatever and running them around the roof, and then under the seats and under the dash. So basically, I just hit that button and the whole interior just lights up completely. That'd be pretty fucking cool. But yeah, so that was my plan, was the 92 OBS Chevy truck. I was going to try to make it completely original and perfect, and then the square body was going to get all sorts of modifications. It's going to look old on the outside, but once you get inside the cab, it's going to be super nice. And that still could be the process. The seat is in really good condition, but so I'm gonna use the original bench seat. I normally throw bucket seats in every other truck that I've had. I've had bucket seats in them. I've always taken the bench seat out and thrown buckets in. The 92 is actually one of those. I took the old 60/40 bench out. Well, I took the 60 portion of that out, and I got a bucket seat for that side, and then I got the center console and everything. And I do like it, but it looks pretty original, so it's all right. But for the square body, I think I'm going to keep the bench seat in there because it would be nice I can put both kids in between me and my wife. We could drive around in that thing. So I think that'll be all right. I like a bench seat, but I also like armrests. So that's where I don't know. I could buy a 90s Chevy truck bench seat that's got the flip down armrest, so it's all kind of hidden, but then you can open it up. Man, there's an Amazon truck that caught on fire out here on I-44, and the traffic is. I came by it earlier, and there's no traffic associated with it. Now there is over here at mile marker 302, or I don't know what the fuck it would be. Yeah, 302 probably. That's a long line of traffic. That's a long fucking line of traffic. You poor fuckers. It's all semis too. Poor guys. Yeah, that's about it. Square body is not making any progress. The 92, I'm gonna try. I don't know. I'm gonna fuck with it when I get back to the shop. You'll hear about it tomorrow. I got another run tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to release that tomorrow because tomorrow's going to be Friday, and this is going to be Friday's podcast. So I might end up recording that and putting it out on Monday just so I have something, and then I can, record on Monday about my weekend and the snowstorm. Snowmageddon. There's the end of the traffic. These poor saps. You don't know how long you're going to have to sit. You guys are heading into the danger zone. Ain't nothing they can do though. You guys just got you're looking forward to a lot of traffic sitting, just so you know. I got the old DR 650. That I'm just talking about my current driveway. The old DR 650 is sitting there, still doing just good. There's nothing wrong with it. Need some tires. Well, I think I'm just going to replace the rear tire on it. But I got it wired. I got my phone is the dashboard. I got the phone mount and everything there is good. I do want to replace the springs, so that'll happen probably soon. I've got everything I need for it, so it shouldn't be a big deal. Replace those springs, stiffen that bitch up. I just wish I could take it for a test ride, which I could, but by the time I get to it, I don't know. But yeah, it's wired up. It can charge my phone. I got a little cable. It's like a super fast charging 2.0 is what my phone says when I plug it in. Like, it'll charge my phone from 0 to 100 in like 40 minutes, I think. So my dirt bike charges my phone faster than anything else, really. And yeah, but other modifications to it, maybe a fuel tank, but I don't know. I would love to get a new fuel tank, but I have heard a lot of people say that they switch to one of those all plastic fuel tanks and like they're slightly warped, the lids don't fit right, they're not happy with them in some way, shape, or form. I'm willing to risk it though. It's just going to cost a little bit of money, but I would love to get a bigger fuel tank for it so I could ride to work 2 times instead of 1 time without fueling the bitch up. But and I could maybe, I could, if it's a white tank, which is what I would plan on getting, I can look down in it and see, because this original metal fuel tank that's on there has got this little cage. You can't see shit. It's got some sort of a chamber in there when you're filling up the fuel tank. It only holds like 2 gallons of gas, 2.5 gallons, I think is what it holds. It takes so long to fuel that motherfucker up because it's got some sort of a chamber in there. So you're fueling it up, and then it fills up to the top, and then it burbles down slowly. And you gotta fill it up, and then it burbles down slowly, and it's just a pain in the fucking ass, man. Don't know what that's about. And it's got a lock-in fuel cap, which if I get the Arquebus, I don't know how to fucking say Arquebus. I don't know how to say it, but it's a brand of fuel tank and plastics for motorcycles and shit. It would not have a lock-in gas cap. Is that a big problem? I don't think so. I don't think anybody's going to be stealing my gas out of my motorcycle. If they're going to do that, they're just going to steal the whole damn thing. But I can get away with that. I got holes in my rotor, so I can get like a long lock and just lock the front wheel. So if somebody ever did try to roll it anywhere, it's a heavy fucking bike. If they tried to roll it anywhere, it would, the lock would go up against the brake. The only problem with that is, from what I've seen, is people forget that they put the lock on the front wheel, and then they start riding it, and it fucks their brakes up. So I guess as long as you put it behind your brake, so if you do start to roll, it'll hit your brakes pretty quickly, and you're not going to have all that momentum, all that built up speed to fucking ruin your fucking brakes. That'd suck. Anyways, I've been going on for about an hour and 2 minutes, so I'm out of here. Adios. Keep all 18 down. We'll talk to you later.